A common frustration of primary parents is that they find that they're constantly defending informed decision making to their partners who are working off of their instinct and or opinions. And what I mean by that is one parent, specifically usually the primary parent, has spent a lot of time reading books, talking to doctors, talking to their kids' educators, reading blogs, really diving into how they can be the best parent possible. What is safe for their kid? What's not safe for their kid? How can they help them thrive? How can they teach them to read? Whatever it might be, right? They're putting in a ton of work. And then typically the other parent, not saying they're a bad parent or unengaged, but the other parent who maybe is not the primary parent and caretaker will come in and say like, I'm not doing that. And when pushed back on, they just say like, yeah, I just don't think that matters. Which is an incredibly frustrating perspective, especially to the parent who's put a ton of work, time, effort, and research into something, because you're basically telling them like, yeah, I don't care and I don't have a good reason for not caring. I just don't. It's just my opinion and I don't care. And so an example of this, let's just use grapes. We know, and anybody who's done research on food and baby-led weaning and feeding small kids, we know grapes are a choking hazard. And so we know we're supposed to cut them for kids under a certain age, I think it's 5 and below. If your partner comes in and says, they're fine, they can eat the grapes. I've seen them eat grapes, they're totally fine. I'm not worried about it. It just doesn't matter to me. They're basically saying, I know the data and I don't care. I don't care enough to change my actions. I'm still going to give them whole grapes and I'm going to risk the choking hazard. Whereas the other partner said, I've read enough and I know enough to know that this is dangerous and I'm not willing to take that risk with my child. And then they butt up against each other. And the frustrating thing in this situation is one parent is informed and the other parent is using an opinion. And that's where people clash, right, when it comes to being a primary parent or not. And I'm not saying primary parent means that the other parent is uninvolved or, doesn't care about their kids. But if they are not the one doing the bulk of the research and education around parenting, then they likely need to look to their partner more often for guidance and education instead of just saying like, no, this is my opinion.